She was beautiful, brilliant, and full of dreams. Everyone who met her was drawn to her charm, her quiet grace, her promise of a brighter future. But behind her radiant smile lived a secret so dark, so twisted, it would take decades to unravel. Her name was Sharon Marshall. At least, that's what the world thought. But Sharon Marshall never existed. This is the story of a girl whose life was stolen, whose name was a lie, and whose death still echoes in unanswered questions. This is the haunting tale of the girl in the picture. In 1986, Sharon Marshall was the star of her high school. Blonde hair, captivating smile, top of her class. She earned a full scholarship to Georgia Tech to study aerospace engineering. A dream career, a bright future ahead. Teachers adored her, friends admired her, and the world seemed to open its doors to her. But beneath that promise was a controlling figure. A man she called her father, Warren Marshall. To outsiders, he seemed strict, protective. In truth, he was a monster wearing a mask. Friends noticed something odd. Sharon was never truly free. Her father controlled every aspect of her life. Where she went, who she spoke to, what she wore, and behind closed doors, it was far worse. Sharon wasn't Warren's daughter. She wasn't even Sharon. Her real name, Tonya Hughes, and Warren Marshall's real name, Franklin Delano Floyd, an escaped convict, kidnapper, and one of the most manipulative predators the FBI had ever seen. Floyd had abducted Tonya as a child. He raised her under false names, moving constantly, creating layers of lies that shielded him from discovery. By the time she was a teenager, he had groomed and abused her for years. To the outside world, she was simply Sharon Marshall, a girl with a bright future. To Floyd, she was property. And when she began to dream of freedom, of breaking away, he tightened his grip. Sharon's scholarship to Georgia Tech never happened. Floyd forced her into stripping and sex work to support him. Her dreams of space and engineering dissolved into the nightmare of his control. By 1990, Sharon or Tonya was dead. Officially, it was a hit-and-run accident in Oklahoma City. But those who knew her suspected otherwise. She left behind a young son, Michael, and just like his mother, Michael would fall into Floyd's grip. Floyd took him, claimed him as his own, and continued his twisted cycle of lies and abuse. Sharon's death marked not the end of a tragedy, but the continuation of a nightmare. Michael grew up trapped in Floyd's prison. Teachers described him as bright but troubled, a boy who longed for stability. Child services intervened, and Michael was placed in foster care. But in 1994, Floyd struck again. During a supervised school visit, he abducted Michael at gunpoint. For weeks, the FBI hunted him. Floyd was caught, but Michael was gone. His body was never found. Sharon's son vanished into the same shadow that stole her life. The FBI peeled away the lies. They discovered Floyd's true identity, his decades-long trail of crime. But the most shocking revelation came later. Sharon Marshall's real identity. She was not his daughter, not even his stepdaughter. She was a kidnapped child. For decades, she had lived under his manipulation, forced to play the role he assigned. Her entire life, a mask. It wasn't until 2014, after tireless investigation, that the truth of her name, Tonya Hughes, came to light. But even then, mysteries remained. Where had she truly come from? Who were her real parents? Questions still unanswered. AI image prompts. Franklin Delano Floyd wasn't just a criminal, he was a master manipulator. Abused in his own childhood, he grew into a man who sought control over others, molding reality to suit his lies. Psychologists describe his behavior as narcissistic, sociopathic, with a hunger for domination. To him, People were pawns. Sharon was not a daughter, not a partner, not even a human being to him. She was an object, a possession. His crimes spanned decades, fueled by his need for absolute control. In the end, Floyd was sentenced to death. Yet, the truth he carried, about Sharon, about Michael, he still refuses to share. Sharon Marshall was a dreamer, a girl who wanted to touch the stars, whose brilliance could have changed the world. Instead, she became a ghost, a stolen identity, a victim whose life ended far too soon. In the end, the world was left with nothing but a photograph, a picture of a smiling girl who never truly existed. And the chilling question remains: how many lives are still hidden in the shadows of men like Franklin Floyd? This was the girl in the picture.